ndalë atje.
By thanking all of the rule of law officials today, since this is a prosecutorial meeting, particularly you prosecutors, for your tireless efforts in the pursuit of justice. Your hard work to hold individuals accountable for their actions and to protect the public from harm, often at a great cost to yourselves and at times to your families, is inspiring. Now, as prosecutors, your work is vital to the criminal justice system, the larger society, and to the future of your country. And this prosecutorial role has really significant influence and power over who is held accountable under the law, who receives redress under the law. And this holds true here in Kosovo just as much as it does in the United States. I want to make a point that I know you know, that power and influence and authority that you have also brings with it a huge responsibility that you pursue justice based on the law and not on the interests of any particular constituency, government. Now, as I reflect on my tenure here as the U.S. Ambassador to Kosovo, I want to share a few observations about the progress I've seen you make and about the next steps that lie ahead. First, I want to say openly, I've been impressed with what I've observed as an unwavering determination to carry out your mission and to not be discouraged by systemic challenges, including a very large volume of cases and a lack of sufficient resources. Your tenacity, your engagement, your professionalism, your work in the face of those obstacles is truly inspiring. You've shown great commitment to using the tools that allow you to increase your efficiency and improve the quality of your work, such as plea bargaining and other alternative resolution dispute mechanisms. And I'm encouraged to see the steady progress you have made in these areas over the last few years. Now, I know the job of no prosecutor is easy. Everyone has opinions about what you're doing and why, and most of the people who have those opinions have very little understanding of what the law requires and the procedural processes in place. So almost everyone has a view on how a case should be tried and what the outcome of a case should be. But of course, you all have a responsibility to follow law and process and regulation. And oftentimes, things don't evolve exactly as the public would like or as someone in government might like. So as you are seen as powerful figures in Kosovo's criminal justice system, it's inevitable there's going to be some criticism, particularly from people who don't understand legal procedures and practices, the very things that have been put into place to ensure equal treatment under the law, rules of evidence, and other legal standards. And I know, I'm confident, it is frustrating, it's offensive at times, to face criticism for doing your job and doing it well, not only from the public, but also from leaders of other branches of government who also have a responsibility for upholding Kosovo's rule of law and good governance. I want to emphasize to you that withstanding such criticism, rising above such criticism, not letting such criticism get in the way of you fulfilling your duties, the oaths you've taken to the law, is incredibly important. You need to preserve your independence. You need to continue to carry out your mandate with professionalism and integrity and diligence. Now, it is also your duty as prosecutors to refrain from improper methods, just as it is your duty to use all the legitimate means to secure just convictions. In one of our cases in the United States on this issue, the Supreme Court noted back in 1921, quote, "While you may strike hard blows, you are not at liberty to strike foul ones." So while you have a lot of reason to be proud of your achievements, your expertise, and your effectiveness, I would also do you a disservice if I did not also note that there are some areas where I and my government feel that prosecutors have not fully served as an example or acted in a manner that is consistent with the highest standards. And the best way you can preserve your independence and credibility and to continue to see popular, greater confidence in you as prosecutors is by diligently, thoroughly following the law, the regulations, and I have to say the highest standards of integrity. You all should be capable of filling out the required financial disclosure forms. You all should be capable of identifying potential conflicts of interest and responding to them. You all should be capable of following clear guidance that has been given for how prosecutors, people who are held to a higher standard, that you are going to be a dedicated individual who brings about positive progress. You may not be able to do it systemically. You may only be able to do it with regard to the cases that have come to you in the court where you're working. But if you help get that right, you are changing a society. So your country looks to you for this requisite sacrifice, struggle, tireless exertions, and individual passionate concern. Please know you are not alone in this. As several have already said this morning, the United States, and I won't speak for my European Union colleague, he'll do it in a minute, but I'm confident he will also express the European Union's full support for you and what you do and how we want to help. And please know, we are your partners here. And please know, what you're achieving is amazing, and what you still can achieve is even more so. Thank you very much.
Ju falenderoj, Zoti Ambasador. Misioni I Bashkimit Evropian, përmes zyrës së saj në Prishtinë.
Dobro jutro, good morning. Dear representatives of the prosecutorial service, dear friends from the diplomatic community, dear participants. Thank you for inviting me to speak on behalf of the European Union. On this occasion, we often mention that the prosecution is a pillar of rule of law and thus one of the cornerstones of the functioning democracy. This is of course true. But we must remember that this is not only a ceremonial statement. This is something that should be kept in mind by every prosecutor every day in the daily work. A prosecutor's work is about securing convictions, but it is at the same time about upholding the legal system, honoring the principle no one is above the law, and demonstrating that justice is blind to power, privilege, or position. In this respect, the independence of prosecution is non-negotiable, ensuring that decisions are based only on the law and merits of the case, free from any undue influence or interference, whether external or internal. I have recently, unfortunately, noted statements from the government in the media attacking prosecutors and judges. I have publicly criticized this, underscoring the fundamental importance of the independence of prosecution and courts. Attacks attempting to exercise undue influence or undermining the authority of the institutions are unacceptable and must stop. However, the independence must be put into appropriate context, a context where accountability is an unmissable element. It is important to underscore that independence must never be mistaken for immunity from scrutiny or constructive criticism. On the contrary, constructive criticism and the ability to self-reflect over such criticism is a vital part of accountability. Self-reflection is necessary both for individual prosecutors and for the institutions in order to develop a sound culture and to gain the trust of the people. It is also important to underscore that independence does not mean that the prosecution can operate in isolation. The prosecution is an important part of the society, must be open and transparent. Furthermore, the prosecution is part of the constitutional system, where the powers of one institution is balanced and checked by other constitutional bodies. This interplay of independence and accountability serves as a guarantee for the integrity of the legal system and for democracy. The bottom line is that constitutional independence is not a privilege, it's a responsibility to respect all aspects of the constitutional system and to always act in the best interest of the citizens and society. Now I would like to address some specific issues and apologize for repeating more or less what my colleague from the US mentioned as well. I would like to mention the selection of the Chief State Prosecutor. With all due respect to the acting Chief State Prosecutor, this temporary solution should not be prolonged. The current situation is negatively impacting the prosecutorial system, and the KPC should take their responsibility to make sure the proper management functions are in place. You, prosecutors, play a vital role in the criminal justice system, and your constructive engagement in this important exercise is necessary. If properly implemented, this reform will lead to improved functioning and accountability of the judiciary and prosecution, which will lead to increased public trust in the system. The fight against organized crime and high-level corruption is an issue that still needs your focus. Through trial monitoring by ULEX and by the EU-funded OSCE project, we see there is a need to improve the quality of investigation and indictments. Effective cooperation between police and prosecutors is another issue that needs to be addressed, as well as effective international cooperation in criminal investigations. Investigations on organized crime and corruption must always include financial investigation. It is essential to recover and confiscate the gains from criminal activities. This will not only deprive criminals of their gains, but will also serve as a preventive measure, since it sends a powerful message that crime has no value. By targeting and confiscating the profits, you strike at the very heart of criminal enterprises, breaking up their financial infrastructure. I have noted there have been some positive developments lately that can influence the fight against organized crime and high-level corruption. The staffing of the SHBA-ja has been improving. Likewise, the new law on the SHBA-ja provides a legal basis for joint investigative teams. The first steps have been taken to establish the Asset Recovery Office by the regulation adopted by the KPC. This is very much welcome. More steps need to be taken to make sure that all resources are used efficiently. We need to see that the resources provided also results in tangible results. One recommendation in the European Commission's annual report is to enhance efficiency in administration and management. To mention just one issue specifically, the Case Management Information System, which is an important tool that must be properly used when evaluating the performance of prosecution offices according to the applicable methodology. I have taken the opportunity today to take stock of issues and challenges that I hope you will consider in your future work. I commend you for organizing this conference on the annual basis, as it is indeed a very good opportunity to reflect. You may have challenges ahead of you. EU pledges to support you in your efforts, both through the experts in the EU in Kosovo and also via EU technical assistance implemented through international partners like the Council of Europe and the OSCE. I wish you a very fruitful day today.